On a cold winter's evening in February of 2021, Penelope Jackson alongside her husband David were sitting down for a meal for Penelope's birthday. They had been on a Zoom call to their daughter Isabel and her husband, who had also joined in on the meal via the call. Very 2021 of them. But although the family had sat down together for a nice meal, things would soon turn sour once the food arrived. You see, Penelope had been preparing the meal. She claimed she asked David if he wanted bubble and squeak with his food, to which, according to her, he said yes. According to him, however, he said no. An argument soon ensued, with the Zoom call swiftly ending, and Penelope's birthday celebrations would come to an end. We don't exactly know details of what happened in the moments after the call, but what we do know is that both Penelope and David went to bed. But this argument didn't come out of nowhere. According to Penelope, this had just been the latest in a series of arguments. It had got that bad she took a knife to bed with her, fearing that David would attack her at any moment. Again, this is all according to Penelope. After a nap, Penelope said she intended to take her own life. She wanted to slit her wrists. She couldn't handle all the arguments. But in her planned final moments, she wanted to tell David what she was about to do. So she headed over to the spare room, told him of her plan, and she said he responded, "Go on then, hurry up or go back to bed. You're pathetic." To this, she had a moment to think, and in her own words, she said to herself, "Why should it be me? It's you." And from here, she started to threaten David with the knife.
And are you with him now?
Well, I might just go and stab him again, but...
Alright, do not stab him again.
Why?
Okay, so just listen to my voice. Okay?
Yes.
Stay on the line with me.
I am complimented.
Okay, are you with the patient now?
Well, I'm in the lounge and he's in the kitchen bleeding to death with any luck.
Alright, so just stay on the line with me.
Look, this is not... You're not paid enough to do with this. It's not fair.
Okay, well, ultimately, madam, I'm listening to your voice, and you're the help I have available, so we need to help him, okay?
No, I'm not.
All right, madam,
I don't
how many times have you stabbed him?
I did the once.
You did the once?
And then he said I wouldn't do it again, so I did it twice more.
So, okay. So, in total, how many times?
3 times.
3 times, okay.
Once I thought I'd get his heart. Well, he hasn't got one. And then twice in the abdomen.
According to Penelope's testimony, she said that David thought she wouldn't go through with stabbing him, so she slashed him across the chest with a knife, causing a wound to his chest. She then stabbed him in the abdomen. In a panic, David managed to get downstairs to the kitchen, where he proceeded to dial 999. Throughout the start of the call, which hasn't been released to the public, David is thought to have told emergency services what had happened. His wife had just stabbed him. And over this 18-minute phone call to emergency services, David's last moments are heard as he screams out in pain after Penelope stabs him for a final time. She then overtakes the phone call and tells the handler, "I've killed my husband, or tried to, because I've had enough." When asked where he was, she replied he's in the kitchen, bleeding to death with any luck. Some of the phone call, which was released to the public, depicts what kind of attitude Penelope had towards the situation. This had been a running theme throughout the entire call, which you've already seen. When the 999 handler offered advice on how to take steps to help David out, such as applying pressure to the wound, she completely refused to do so. She said calmly, "I'm not helping him, the paramedics can, but I'm not." At some point after this call is made, this is when emergency services would arrive.
Hey madam, do you need to step outside for me a minute? Can you come outside?
Yes.
Thank you.
He's on the kitchen floor.
Okay, at this moment in time, okay, if you just listen to my colleague, under arrest suspicion of attempt murder, mate.
Under arrest with suspicion of attempt murder. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. You do not mention when questioned anything you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
I'll go in and see what they do.
Yeah.
Could I get my coat?
Just bear with me 2 seconds.
In there.
I admit it all.
Alright.
Just get them. Alright, I want to go in, alright?
No,
So,
he's on the kitchen floor.
Can someone just stay with Devon while I go in?
There's nothing nasty, and I'm certainly not. My coat's in the.
Yeah, just
Ouch,
wait
it's
2
a bit
seconds.
hot.
Alright, you okay? You alright?
With any luck, you'll be too late.
Alright.
What's your name, my love?
Well, I'm called Penny, but Penelope Jackson.
Do you live here? You do live here?
Yes. Can I get my coat?
We'll get you a
Right,
coat
get
for
the
you.
ambulance in, pronto. We need
Oh,
CPR.
don't. No, please don't.
Yeah, we
Oh,
need
I
the
should have
ambulance in.
stabbed him a bit more.
We've got CPR being done at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Penelope, come with me, mate.
You want my keys?
Shoe.
For your
I
band, okay?
Yes. I stabbed him once because he's a.
No, I'm going to send them all out.
He's an aggressive bully and nasty, and I've had enough. And when he said you wouldn't do it, I did it twice more. Coats in.
What colour's your
go
coat?
in the front. In the front.
Yeah.
Grey wardrobe.
Okay, it might be a while, alright, but I'll try and get... There's obviously a lot going on, okay?
Oh,
but
with any luck, it'll be too late.
Penelope, my advice is don't talk about it now, okay?
No, I have no intention of not agreeing to what I've done.
Okay.
I know what I've done.
All right.
And I know why I've done it. And if I haven't done it properly, I'm really annoyed.
Alright, Penny. I'm further arresting you for murder.
Oh, good.
I've already cautioned you,
Yes.
so your necessities for your arrest is for a prompt and effective investigation
Yep.
and stop further harm.
Sorry, that one's a bit tight.
So,
This
Penny,
one's-
We're gonna
We're going to move them to the rear in a moment. The DO's just come out to check your temperature, and then we'll move you in. And then
mind
we'll
your
get
head.
there. Just stay there for the time being.
All right. I wouldn't buy my slippers.
Alright,
I'm not
do you want her out?
exactly.
Yeah. Alright, just step out, mind your head.
Yeah. Rightio. I'm very sorry for being a nuisance.
No, I've just got to take a temperature, okay?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be just really great. Get COVID on the top of this.
Ultimately, David was sadly pronounced dead a short while after emergency services arrived. Penelope was later charged with murder, to which she denied, but did admit to the lesser charge of manslaughter on the basis that she had suffered years of physical abuse at the hands of the victim. The prosecution, however, still wanted to go ahead with the murder charge, so a trial went ahead. A lot came out in court, but I'll highlight a few key points which I think will help build a picture about this case. Now, remember how we spoke about Penelope taking a knife to bed with her because she feared for her life? Well, this wasn't due to the continuous arguments, believe it or not. It boiled down to an incident that had happened in December of 2020, a couple months before the murder. Police had been called to their address following a row over a TV remote control. Penelope would lock David in the conservatory to calm him down, according to her, but he managed to smash his way out with the poker from their wood-burning stove. It was thought that he acted out of character following an operation to replace the battery in a deep brain implant used to manage a condition that caused his hands and limbs to tremble. But neighbours and friends came out to say that although yes, the couple argued, it was nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, they would go on to say that the arguments wouldn't last very long and the couple's marriage seemed okay. Now in court, Penelope would come out to talk of horror stories of David abusing her in the 90s. However, David's second wife gave evidence in court saying that in fact Penelope had been the aggressor in their relationship and had even threatened to chop off his you-know-what. This came after an incident back in 1993 where Penelope had came to the house of David and his second wife. Penelope would go on to tell David's second wife if David was to leave her, she would do a bobbit on him. This was allegedly a reference to a high-profile case in the US at the time in where a wife chopped off her husband's you-know-what. During the investigation, police discovered that Penelope had made online searches for matters such as deep brain stimulation, domestic violence, my right as a victim, refuge, support with legal options, I'm living with my abuser, and divorce lawyers. They also discovered a WhatsApp message she sent in December of 2020 describing David as turning into the devil incarnated. She also wrote, I can't continue to take this nastiness. No matter how much I love you, it's just not fair. The future is in your hands. You stop this nastiness or we go our separate ways. Another message said, you have again gone off on one and you frighten me. I cannot grow old like this. Ultimately though, Penelope was found guilty of murder on a vote of 10-2. She was then handed a life sentence with the minimum term of 18 years. Now normally this is where I'd end the story off, but yes, ladies and gentlemen, the story does not finish here. As of the 13th of November 2021, the family of Penelope Jackson's third husband, yes, David was her fourth, they spoke out claiming that Penelope had made him take his own life. So she hasn't got the blood of just one man on her hands. It's in fact two, according to them. After Penelope had married Alan Warrender in 1988, for whatever reason, she began to have an affair with David in 1993. Yes, the same year she went to David's house to threaten to cut off his you-know-what. Due to this happening though, it's claimed that Alan took his own life after struggling with the breakup, which in turn left him with money problems and alcohol issues. One family member described Penelope as ruthless, greedy, angry, and a danger to society. But as we come to a close in this story, we'll never truly know the facts surrounding this case, but just remember that the jury will know more in-depth details, and according to them, she is in fact a murderer, with the story of abuse being thrown out the window. It's not really hard to tell why they came to that decision though, after listening to that 999 call and watching that body cam footage.